This is ST-321, code clearance blue. We're starting our approach to deactivate the security shield.
Hi, I'm Paul and I'm with my mate James and welcome to Code Clearance Blue, a show where we discuss all things Star Wars from our home here in the UK.
We would be honoured if you would join us.
I've been looking forward to this.
Hi everybody, welcome back for another episode of Code Clearance Blue. We are talking all things Andor. We are now reviewing episode 8 of Andor, which is called Who Are Ya?
Who are ya?
Who are ya?
Who are ya?
The famous football chant.
Indeed.
So that's how football and Star Wars are intertwined.
Speaking of football, just a quick shout out, Chelsea making the conference final.
Of course, yeah.
Beautiful.
That's it, beautiful. So that was good. Yeah, watched that last night. And then watched a bit of Andor after that. So, you know, double whammy.
Mate, football and Star Wars doesn't get much better than that, I've got to say.
That's it. So, yeah, we had a quick... So this is our little middly episode, which is quite good. And we sort of start off there with a big wide shot of Gorman.
And it's all going to go down, basically.
Yeah, sort of see a bit more of the larger city, you know what I mean? So obviously we've seen a big wide shot, but this is all of this big, massive panoramic of the hills and sort of see the layers of the city and the big dome in the middle where the ISB offices, the bureau was, sorry. And then we see Andor setting up his little sniper rifle. It looks like a sniper case.
That's it. And Deirdre's kind of teasing him by kind of like moving near the window and then moving away again. And he's like, oh, this is going to be a bit of a... But whilst he's getting ready, I think the old captain's like, right, we're going to block off the square, put up those roadblocks and stuff in it so that it's like closed off kind of like the exits and entrances and stuff. But the people of Ghorman think that they're opening the plaza up so that they can finally go in there to like see the memorial and everything.
Yeah.
So
and Andor knows he's talking to thingy on the old headpiece, isn't he?
The boy,
the earpiece, boy. That's him. And I think Andor knows it's a setup.
and then. But also the old fella from the Resistance knows as well, isn't he? Because a bit later on in the thing, he's trying to tell everyone not to go to the plaza because obviously on the news or whatever, it looks like just, you know, thousands of people are like pouring in a protest, which obviously they can spin to be like it's like they're really volatile, aggressive and all that sort of thing. And he's like, no, don't go in there. We need to do like peaceful, silent resistance or whatever and just leave it.
I think even at that point he does say, it's a trap.
I think Admiral Akbar's lawyers are going to get onto him.
But not obviously in that sort of accent. He goes, Je pardon.
Good morning.
Good morning, which is obviously it's a trap in Gorman / French.
I heard there was a trop on the Plaza.
Yeah. So they're getting ready, aren't they? They're kind of doing these petrol bombs and getting sort of like what they call them Molotov cocktails, weren't they?
Yeah, Molotovs. Yeah.
So they got like.
So there's a few naughty ones in the crowd. You know what I mean? It's a bit like football, isn't it? There's a few naughty ones in the crowd that are like, actually, we will kick off.
And then we sort of cut back to the square, and again more news crews outside, you know, doing all the propaganda, and then Figgy's mum's having a little watch at the propaganda news.
Oh yeah. Oh, my boy's down there somewhere.
Yeah. What's he doing? See, for the future though, like what they kind of like, she's got a big old flat, a tiny little telly.
Yeah.
Like a proper little 80s telly, you know.
Isn't it?
You think, you know, these tellies will be getting bigger. You know, because they just get bigger, aren't they, nowadays? You think, they'll have a bit of a Back to the Future type big screen, you know?
Don't you do Samsung?
Yes, it's all kind of gone miniature, little 4x3 telly, and then anyway, that's what I
suppose. Like thinking about the original trilogy, I suppose it is a bit like that. Although Vader's got that big thing in his little booth, hasn't he? That quite massive widescreen.
Yeah, true.
Makes it easier for force choking people.
Yeah, and he's got a big old hologram of the Emperor.
Yeah, yeah,
Empire
yeah.
Strikes Back.
Maybe that's where they put the tech companies built the hologram stuff rather than the screens. The screens, they were just like
Yeah,
keep it small. You know what I mean?
yeah.
On the go. But yeah, so she's watching it as well. And obviously, do you think it was a deliberate tactic by that captain to have like inexperienced security people come down and be a part of it?
Maybe, yeah. I do feel that a lot of this is all deliberate. Yeah, they sort of wanted they wanted them sort of shot dead a little bit, and yeah, I think so.
Because even like the captain of them was just like they're not ready to go out there and like
Yeah,
sort of riot patrol basically. And he's like, I'd rather. Oh, he said a really good line, but I can't remember it off the top of my head now. Something about like I'd rather not send kids out there than something else. And it was like I was really good. And like the main captain's just like, get them out there, otherwise you and your team will spend the rest of your days in an Imperial brig. I was like, all right,
interesting. There we go.
yeah,
And then we sort of cut back to the where we see the old bloke, and that's when he says, "It's a trap," to his daughter outside the cafe, and we see them put all the blockades up, and then they start don't they start getting all the crowds with the revolution, Le Miserable.
I was going to say, I thought they'd break out into song at one point.
Yeah.
Wheel the cannon in.
Well, the first they start singing like Gorman, the galaxy will see, or something, the galaxy will see, that kind of thing, don't they?
Oh yeah. Do you know what? When they first started doing that, I thought they were still speaking in French. I didn't understand what they were saying. And then halfway through, I was like, "Oh, hold on, it does make sense." Yeah, okay.
yeah. And Cyril's involved.
Yeah, Cyril's kind of walking around, but his mind is now starting to open, and he's like, "Hold on a minute, like they're coming in here, and I can see they can't get out, and Deirdre's not really telling me the full story."
Yeah.
And I've heard that there's like mining ships landing on the other side of the planet and stuff, and he's starting to put two and two together now, and he's not a happy chappy, is he, in this episode?
No, he's not. He's beginning to work it out, and he talks to the old man. The bloke who looks a bit like Johan Cruyff. The one he just said it's a trap. He's left the square.
That's right.
Bumped into. It's all this equipment for. What have you done? What are you doing? Droids. That's a rumor. And then again, I think Cyril's realising even more now, like what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. So he goes and has it out with Deirdre, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Although again, it takes him about 10 minutes to get to her office because everyone's just like, "Hold on a minute, where are you going? You can't go in there."
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like it's a need to know basis, and you don't need to know.
Yeah, because he manages to plug his way in, doesn't he? And he sees the guy. Yeah, needs to know basis, and then they sort of. They don't take him as a prisoner, do they? Because they put him in a room full of sort of K2, well, they call them KX, don't they?
KX droids, yeah. So basically, there's K2SO in it, basically. It's like 6 of them. And he's just
they look good.
Yeah, they look great, yeah. They look really good. And the only quibble I had with them, or maybe I should save it for later in the app. Yeah, I'll save it for later in the app. It's all right.
Because they're just there at the table, aren't they?
Yeah, they're just sitting there, and then like one of them just keeps looking at him though, like.
Yeah, because I thought they all look at him and then they all turn their heads, but the middle one keeps looking at him, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And I thought, oh right, maybe K2's already a bit K2 like, you know what I mean? Maybe he's not the colour. I thought that then, like I didn't. Obviously, it's a little bit later on we realise what's happened, but yeah, it's But then Cyril does again, and it sort of really dawns on his face then, what's going on. And
yes.
but I think it's more that the K2 droid thinks he's undercover. Do you know what I mean? Maybe he's thinking.
Yeah.
Cyril's not quite,
You went deep with it,
on
mate.
their side. I did. That look. Yeah, a bit more protesting, a bit more Andor trying to get a shot, and then Cyril has a chat with old Deirdre.
Yeah, now he went crazy in that chat, didn't he? And then like to the point where he physically like started throttling her, saying like, "Tell me exactly what's going on. I know you're lying to me." And not telling me the whole truth and everything. And then she's like, oh, they're mining for something on the other side of the planet. And I was like, I thought then maybe she was going to walk off and we were going to get that shot from the trailer where she's like rubbing her neck.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because old Cyril went a bit Vader, didn't he? He went mad.
He did, yeah.
Arise, Darth Cyril.
Darth Cyril, yeah. And then, he just realises that he's sort of being...
He's been played a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, he just keeps realising, but still not quite believing.
Yeah, but then on the flip side of that, like Deirdre's still kind of like trying to keep an arm around him and be like, look, when we get back to Coruscant, everything's going to be great. Like, just sort of trust me. Do you know what I mean? But he's not having it because he's just like, no, you've treated me like a mug, basically. And also, the people of Ghorman haven't done anything wrong, really. So, you know, what the hell?
No. And then they start singing the national anthem, don't they? Which is sort of the theme tune to this next sequence.
Yes.
And then they ask for her orders and supervisor, Miro.
Our man from the town hall meeting starts singing like as if he was in the Welsh Valleys or whatever, and then everyone joins in, and obviously, and
then she goes, proceed.
Yeah, Partagaz is just like, right, let's get on with it then, and then the captain's like, Supervisor Miro, like, are we green or whatever, and she's like, proceed. And
then I hear one of the guys said, fire at will. Fire at will, Commander. And then, a couple of snipers take him out. One bloke
called Will, legs it because he overheard them.
Yeah.
He's like, what have I done? Why are you shooting at me?
Yeah. And then, it's a bit of panic, isn't there? Because obviously they've got snipers.
Yes.
The Imperial guys have got snipers. And take a guy out, you know.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, isn't it? Like Cassian was supposed to be the sniper, but in actual fact, they've got a couple, and they start pinging people out, and it's like the inexperienced security guards on the floor are just.
Did they kill one of the security guards as well to sort of get it going?
Yeah, they did. They took one of their own out, just to make it look like someone. They could be like someone in the crowd has like killed a security guard, so we better ramp this up. And then they take out a couple of other people, and then the captain of the security guards is like, right, everyone form a line and like push in. And then it just all starts kicking off, and then like you say, people are pulling out like Molotov cocktails and small blasters and everything. And
Stormtroopers kick off, and then
stormtroopers keep closing in, and and it's like a bit of an intense shootout. But then they're feeding to the media. They're saying, "Oh, there's like rebel agitators that have like supplemented the Ghorman protest, and they've like started kicking off." But we don't know who they are because they're all like, you know, blended in or whatever. So, you know, we're shooting wildly because we don't know who's who really.
Andor's trying to stay on mission, but obviously he gets pulled into it. Then they have to kill a couple.
Yeah, he's still trying to get that shot, isn't he? But he sort of unpacks the or repacks the sniper rifle and goes back to his regular blaster, and he goes downstairs, and he's constantly trying to get Willman, isn't he, on the old blower?
Yeah.
And he can't really get.
Right.
Yeah, got the old Bluetooth, hands free, and he's like, Willman, where are you? And then it's like, hello, one of them ones.
Yeah.
And then, because Willman's with the old resistance, and they've come up. He's got himself a bird and all.
Yeah.
Old Willman.
Yeah, he's got himself a lover.
Does all right, doesn't he?
And then,
he gets around a bit, old Willman.
He does well. She was part of the resistance, though, wasn't it? Because that's what they escaped together, didn't they?
Yeah.
And Andor sort of then misses a shot, doesn't he? Because Thingy comes out on the balcony looking for Cyril, and he misses the shot, unfortunately.
Yeah, he can't pull the trigger, can he? Because there's so much going on around him and everything, and it's just like, ugh. And then, so it's getting all out of hand, and people are getting massacred and everything, and then they like send out the KXs, don't they? So
he looked great, and
they just start cleaning. They start cleaning house, really, don't they? Let's be honest. Now, see
very
what
good.
the only thing that annoyed me about them in terms of like the overall Star Wars canon was like they came in, they were like kicking shit out of everyone and taking hits and stuff. But then in Rogue One, Jin just like blasts one from like fairly close range,
Yes.
and it like just goes and falls over, and it's like, hold on a minute, they're taking a lot of punishment here. You know, wasn't too sure how that kind of corresponds, but yeah.
So yeah, it's and now Cyril's all in the middle, just looking around, confused. Isn't he? And Deirdre's looking for him. Where's he gone? Where's me Cyril gone?
Where's me Cyril? She wants him
I
now.
actually do like him. And he turns around and I was just about to take the shot.
Yeah, and then
Fucking scatters him.
And then Cyril comes bowling in and does the old rugby tackle.
Yeah.
Because he finally...
He's right there. He had the right clear shot on her head. And Cyril just fucking takes him out.
Yeah, because there was a shot, wasn't there? Like where there was a shot just before it all kicks off of them two like passing each other on a set of stairs. And it's just like, oh, he's the one you've been looking for all this time.
All this time, yeah. And there's a massive fight break out between the two of them.
Yeah, they crash inside a shop, don't they? And they start having a proper ruck. Cyril gets the old choke hold out again. That must be his favourite, I reckon.
Yeah. And he's got a shot on Andor right at the end. And then Andor goes, "Who are you?" And then suddenly old geezer comes and saves the day.
Johan Cruyff turns up again.
Johan Cruyff with a silencer.
With an overhead kick.
Takes poor old little Cyril out.
But imagine Cyril's like his whole like sort of motivation across both series has been like finding Andor. Who is this Andor? We've got to track him down. And then at the end of it, Andor's just like, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? 'Cause he doesn't know who he is and what's been going on. So
no.
And then Cyril's just like so crestfallen, and then Johan's just like, "Bang, you're out."
You're done. Yeah, so that's good.
Yeah, it was good because Cyril was winning that fight. To be fair.
Yeah, well, he was obviously had a gun at Andor, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, that's what I mean. But he was. Yeah, they traded a few good blows in that. It was quite a good fight. Yeah.
And Did just sort of looking out the window, going, "Where is he? Where's me Cyril gone?
Where's me Cyril?" So yeah, it's still all kicking off, and then I think someone finally chucks a Molotov, and that like sets up against one of the barriers and takes out some of the Imperials and stuff, and then
they sort of retreat, don't they?
Yeah, I think Wilmon and Cassian get back together, don't they? And they're like, we've got to get out of here, basically. So they're sort of running down a street and getting chased by one of the KX droids in the end, isn't it?
A famous one, and then he gets knocked down by a tank. Chucked in the wall.
How the hell do we deal with these? Tank.
Yeah, big fuck off tank into the wall. Chop him in half.
And then Cassian's like, "We've got to get off of here." And Wilman's like, "Can't leave my booty call."
Yeah.
Go back for the
lady. Like, okay, before you go, give me there's one. Just give me a hand. Obviously, K2 gets chopped on the tank.
Yeah, love that. Yeah, can you just give us a quick hand with something before you rush off? Thank you. But it's quite good when Wilman goes back to the Resistance, and then like she's on the old radio being like, is anyone out there to help us? Like, you know, like, does anyone care? And all this sort of thing. She's like really going for it, isn't she? Like,
yeah.
And broadcasting on any open channel, like we're being massacred and blah blah blah, and it's just like cool. So she's put the word out. And then, and I think that's kind of it, isn't it? Like the Empire basically win in the end because.
But we go back to they win and then they retreat, and then we see old Deirdre in her little, in her little room, and sort of having a little cry, and that's when she does that thing with that we thought she'd been strangled, her hands shaking, and.
I mean, I'd be doing that in that uniform anyway. Those collars are so high and tight.
Yeah.
Ooh. Makes me feel all uncomfortable.
She sort of like gets sort of pulls herself together.
Yeah, she has to
And
sort of
then,
pull herself together a little bit, and then
back to the news. And I think we see Mum and Cyril's mum with her mates over having a little cup of tea, thinking the worst.
that's it. She got the final shot of the app, didn't she, the old mum?
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
The cost of war.
Yeah. So I did see somebody comment on something whether the famous uncle is Lutheran.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was another little speculation there.
Interesting.
Which I thought was quite an interesting theory.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to find out who he is, aren't we? Hopefully.
Yeah,
at some point in the next
something's going to
episodes.
happen in the last block of 3 episodes that do with him for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
As we said last time on Co-Clearance Blue, whether he survives or gets taken out by Cassian maybe or something, you never know.
Yeah.
So no, it's good, but no, it was a really good episode. Obviously, so we did get a massacre in the end of Ghorman, but not quite the one that we all thought. But it was very well done, and yeah, interesting points of view to see it through the eyes of Cyril and Deirdre and Cassian and the Resistance and everything. So yeah, it's very very well done. But obviously, at the end of the day, the Empire have pulled it off, and they'll be able to take over the control of the planet. So
yeah,
that's
it. They've got what they need to get.
Absolutely.
So yeah, okay. Well, you'll join us for the finale, episode 9 or episode 9 review. Where we'll be talking about, I would say, the best one.
Yeah, it's great. I can't wait to get stuck into that one.
Yeah.
If you're on Twitter, give us a follow at UK Star Wars Pod. Picked up on Twitter a lot recently this week, mate.
Oh, nice.
Quite a lot of our tweets are getting quite a fair number of likes, and we're getting some response from people. Not always pleasant response, but it's all engagement at the end of the day. So
that's it. Yeah, slagging us off.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And we picked up 3 new followers as well, so it's all good.
Oh, there you go. Booming.
Our business is booming at Co-Clearance Blue. So on behalf of Paolo and myself, we'll say thanks for tuning in, and may the force be with you all.
Starting our approach, deactivate the security shield.
Security deflective shield will be deactivated when we have confirmation of your code transmission. Stand by.